This is the stainless steel inner vessel. This inner vessel has been lifted out of this mild steel water jacket. All these weld marks, they go over the entire bottom of the water jacket. There were deep pit marks, and several of them were right through the outside. I'll build this up with weld here. The piece here will have to be cut out. That's very thin there. And big pieces will have to be cut out of there. This pipe will have to be replaced. That's a steam pipe going in. I've cleaned this here. I'm going to try and build this up with weld. So that I don't have to cut it out. I've got that ground off now. That's smooth enough. So that can be painted. Needs a little bit in there. Right, just welded some more small areas that were badly corroded. Right, one of the next jobs is to tackle this area. Big piece to cut out here. Put a new piece in. And round that outlet. Three pieces there to cut out. Also here, which is badly corroded, almost right through. That will have to be cut out. Got these pieces cut out and welded in. These are the pieces which have been cut out. Had to build up some deep bit marks on the edges. I'll grind some of these welds off now, just to smooth it out a bit. That's ground up now. I'm going to have to cut this out. I've marked a line here where I'm going to cut it. That'll be outside of all the corroded areas. Now before I cut this out, I've had to make a template. That's the template. And that screws onto the front of the vat there. I've drilled 4 holes to hold the template on. They'll be welded up afterwards. And then I'll weld a new piece of steel in here, screw the template back on, and then I should be able to mark where this centre hole and these 4 bolt holes go. Got the old panel cut out, put the new panel in, just tack welded in at the moment. I've replaced this curved section, used stainless steel here. I've had to put this pipe back on, tailor make some pieces to fit. So this is welded from the inside at the moment. Just got to weld it around the outside. There's a new section to go in here. This has got to be cut out. Fit a new piece in here and weld it to the new parts down here. I'm just preparing to cut this piece out. I got it cleaned up. I'm marking it out where I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to be welding in a new section that's been bent out of sheet 5mm thick. Got that piece cut out. That's the piece that's been cut out. And that's the new section. That's all prepared to go in. So that'll fit in. That'll fit in there. And there'll be a little triangular piece to fit in that bit. So I'm going to start tack welding that in. Got the new piece tack welded in position. That's what it looks like on the inside. That's the new piece in the end panel. And that's the curved piece in the bottom. You can just see the outlet. It drains the water out when they need to empty it. So I'm going to start welding that up now. I've got all the welding finished on this end. This pipe will need replacing. Making a start on the other end of the tank now. I've got one piece cut out. That's the new piece that's going to go in. Got that piece tacked in. Now I'm going to cut the other piece out. Got these two pieces tack welded in. So now it's ready for welding. I'll weld the inside first. I've got the V to weld into. Got it fully welded on the inside. And I've got the outside joints V'd out, ready for welding. Got that fully welded. Still got to make a hole through here. This is through the end panel. There's a steam pipe goes in there. I've got the last two corroded areas cut out. That one and this one. So they've been patched up. Now I'm the steam pipe in. Got the new pipe welded on there. I've had the template on and made these holes, so that should line up. Just got a problem with these feet. They are supposed to swivel, but they're seized. Got both of these feet free. Those feet actually pivot under the centre of the vat. Found the bottom of the vat badly pitted around the end of this main support here. So I built this up with weld. And I've got these painted so the feet can go back on. This fitting is something new I fitted. And this one down here on the lower corners. These fittings have been put in place so that the water jacket can be rinsed out with a jet of water, just to flush out any sediment that tends to lay in the bottom of the water jacket. The customers had the bottom of the cheese vat cleaned up and been cleaned with a mechanical wire brush. And that uncovered another problem down here. Found a corroded spot here, so I had to build that up with weld. That's been done. So this is nearly ready for being painted. I've been waiting for them to get the painting done on the cheese vat, so while I've been waiting I'm making up some jigs. This is one part of the jig. This is another part, and this piece here. This is the template that was used to mark the holes in the front panel of the water jacket. When all the welding was done, it caused distortion in this area here. The panel is actually bowed inwards. This plate is made of steel 8mm thick. That will fit on the inside of the front panel. This part of the jig, I made this out of some offcuts. These 4 holes and these 2 here will be used. That will bolt on the outside of the cheese vat. This will be on the inside, bolted through. This threaded rod will be attached to the centre of that jig, and it will pass through the hole in this piece of box section. So I'll be using this threaded rod to pull the panel out this way. I've drilled another hole here which is off centre, and if the panel needs pulling more on one side than the other, or more on the top than the bottom, I can use this hole and position the jig either that way, that way, that way, or that way, and I can pull the panel exactly where I need to. So hopefully that should pull the panel straight. Right, something else I've been working on. When the valve is fitted to the front of the cheese vat onto these 4 holes, this valve has to seal against the outlet pipe which comes out of the stainless steel inner vessel. This is a standard pipe joint seal, which is the nearest I can find for the job. It's not exactly what's needed, so I've had to modify this slightly, and this is what I've done. That side is standard, but this side I've shaved off the rebate, because the seal, it needs a rebate on one side and a flat surface on the other side. It's also slightly smaller diameter than the outlet, about 4mm, too small in diameter. So I've machined a piece of plastic that will stretch the seal to the right diameter and hold it at the right diameter whilst everything is bolted together. And then after everything's bolted together, this can be pulled out of the valve. So I think that'll work. I've just made this stainless steel shim. This is to shim the valve away from the front of the water jacket to give exactly the right size gap for this rubber seal to pinch between the back side of the valve and the end of the outlet pipe on the inner vessel. Right, I'm back on site, working on the cheese vat again. They've painted the underside, so I've rolled the vat, the water jacket, back onto its feet. I've got the stainless steel inner vessel resting above. I've got my portable hoist in place, and that's to lower the inner vessel back down into the water jacket. I've had the jigs I made onto this front panel, and I've had to pull this panel out a bit because the distortion had bowed it inwards, and you can feel in this area here, you can feel a crease there where the panel is actually pulled outwards, bearing in mind it's 5mm thick, so it took quite a bit of pulling. Anyway, that's in the right place now. I can't do any more now until they've finished painting it around the top edge. And when they're finished painting that, I can assemble the vat. I'm back on site again. I've got the steam pipe to put on there. I've got the steam manifold in. I've had to re-drill these holes and thread them, M12. Just got to make some gaskets for the flange. I've lowered the inner vessel back into the water jacket. To do the lifting and lowering of the stainless steel inner vessel, I had to fix some lifting brackets to the side of the vessel. So I just welded some lugs on the side to give me something to lift on. I've got the stainless steel valve bolted on. That's sealed on now. I'm just bolting the top rim of the vessel down. Still got to mount this agitator, bolts on the side. There's also a connecting rod that goes from that crankshaft. It works a paddle that swings back and two in the vat. So I've got the vat levelled up. Got the agitator paddle mounted in. connecting rod and the gearbox mounted. Fitted a new ball valve on the water outlet. I've got the feet in place. There's the bush on the other end of the agitator paddle.